You see, the predator lifestyle is nearly as complicated and tough as the xenomorph lifecycle, and to become an adult Yautja, you've got to perform a coming-of-age ritual, often called the blooding ceremony. It isn't that complicated. All you gotta do is find a xenomorph, kill it, and mark your head and helm with its acidic blood, and that's it. Once you return home, you get scores of predator babes lining up for you. Cool, right? Well, no. Many young predators lose their lives and limbs in order to pass this ritual, and in this video, we're gonna explore everything there is to know about the young blood predators, how they become blooded, and what happens next. I'll also talk about this human woman who's the only one in history of the Predator franchise to become a blooded Predator clan member. Before I begin, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Those 2 small clicks from you will help us tremendously in bringing you more of these marvelous videos. Now let's begin. I think before I get into the young bloods, I must first explore the Sucklings a bit. This is the stage of life between an infant and a young blood. I mean, it will only help us understand the young blood and their blooding ritual better, while giving us an idea as to what life is when you are a predator child. So, Sucklings don't appear that much in predator lore, but when they do, they're basically bite-sized Yautja. Smaller, quieter, and probably still dangerous enough to ruin your day. Vicleda, a seasoned predator, once compared Machiko's height to that of a Yautja child, which puts a Suckling at around 5 feet. Oh, and if you're wondering who Machiko Noguchi is, she's only the first human ever to be inducted into a predator clan. Not just that, she was blooded by the leader of that clan while he was breathing his last after a battle with a xenomorph horde, where Machiko proved to be indispensable and quintessential. Now, from Machiko's story, we also learn that the predator does not have to physically blood themselves or mark themselves with the blood of a xenomorph, and that someone else can do it for you. Kinda like how knights are knighted in Westeros. Speaking of which, I'm super excited about a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, but I digress. So yeah, coming back to predator lore, the comic Predator Forever Midnight calls them spawnlings, and clocks them at roughly 1 meter tall, half the size of a full-grown hunter. Either way, they're small, stocky, and somehow managing to survive in a culture that treats everything trying to kill you as a normal Tuesday. From what we know, there's not much variety in Predator career options. No healers, no philosophers, just fighters. Although I must say that some of them, the senior-most guys, become something like spiritual guides in their later life. Anyway, most males are pushed straight into warrior life, probably before they've even figured out what sleep is. Wristblades get strapped on early, and the rest of their childhood seems to be a crash course in bloodshed and legend. The jump from pup to unblooded isn't clearly defined, but somewhere along the way, they absorb all the stories and fears that shape predator culture. Tales of the Black Warrior, their godlike hunter figure, and whispered warnings about the dreaded Umans, aka humans. What's still a mystery is whether the Yautja have any in-between years like human teenagers, or if it's a hard switch from child to bloodthirsty adult. Given how their society works, it's safe to assume there's no awkward emo phase or rebellious streak. You don't slam the door on your clan leader and shout, "You don't understand me!" when your entire rite of passage involves skinning aliens for trophies, which brings me to the Youngbloods and their blooding ritual. So, among the Yautja, Youngblood doesn't mean what it does for us. There's no rebellious phase or bad haircut, and definitely no finding yourself. You're either an untested warrior or a corpse waiting to happen. The Youngbloods are the adolescent ranks of the predator species, old enough to fight, not yet experienced enough to brag about it. They're unblooded, meaning they haven't made their first official kill. Once they do, they're elevated into full adulthood and given the rights, weapons, and respect that come with it. But until that point, they're basically the galaxy's most dangerous interns. A young-blood predator is already more than capable of tearing through a trained human soldier without breaking a sweat. Physically, they're fully grown, in the sense that they are huge, muscular, and fitted with the same deadly instincts as their elders. The real difference is experience. This is the phase where they go on their first hunt, a trial that determines whether they'll join the ranks of the blooded, or become part of the landscape. And since this is a society where only the strong survive isn't a metaphor, failure means death. The Yautja don't do participation trophies. The blooding ritual itself is one of the defining moments of predator culture. Most hunts take place inside Yautja-built pyramids, ancient testing grounds, and filled with captive xenomorphs. To the Yautja, the xenomorph represents the ultimate prey, one that is fast, lethal, and acid-filled. But most importantly, it's a prey that's good enough to keep things interesting. Once a young blood kills one, they're allowed to mark themselves and their biomass with the creature's acidic blood, symbolizing their transition to adulthood. It's also the point where they earn access to the plasma caster, the shoulder-mounted weapon that gives them their iconic firepower. Young bloods rarely hunt alone. They're sent in small teams of 3 to 5, a setup that tests both their individual skill and their ability to work as a pack. The weak are weeded out, often violently, while the survivors emerge stronger and sharper. The successful ones become full-fledged hunters, traveling across the galaxy collecting trophies and legends. The failures, meanwhile, become cautionary tales, or xenomorph incubators, depending on how their last fight went. Their performance on the battlefield varies. All Youngbloods can take down an armed human, but fighting Xenomorphs separates the reckless from the refined. The trio from Alien vs. Predator makes a good case study. Chopper failed to sense a Xenomorph creeping up behind him and was impaled for his trouble. Celtic put up more of a fight, but couldn't kill his Xenomorph efficiently and ended up dead too. Only Scar managed to adapt, taking on multiple Xenomorphs, even a queen, before falling victim to a facehugger. The lesson is simple. Enthusiasm alone doesn't keep you alive in a pyramid full of acid-blooded murder machines. Different clans have their own ways of blooding their young. The most common method, as seen in several comics and films, involves dropping the untested hunters into a designated battleground, usually a pyramid or a sacred site, and letting them fight Xenomorphs until someone comes out alive. Those who make their kill mark themselves with their clan's symbol, using Xenoblood as ink. They then report their kill to their superiors, who verify their success before granting the official rank of Blooded. When the mothership returns, it picks up the victors, and, depending on clan tradition, either honors the fallen or leaves them to rot. Some clans bring their dead home, while others treat failure as shameful and pretend those hunters never existed. In Super Predator clans, Youngbloods sometimes carry specialized titles like Tracker or Falconer. These roles emphasize precision and strategy over brute strength, but the end goal is the same: survive, kill, evolve. Across Yautja culture, the terms Youngblood and Unblooded are often used interchangeably. Some clans prefer one term over the other, a result of natural cultural drift, as newer clans form and split off from older ones. But the principle behind both remains consistent. Until you've proven yourself in the hunt, you're not really one of them. For all their discipline and technology, Yautja society is brutally simple. You kill to live to hunt, and hunt to prove your worth. The Youngblood phase captures that in its most brutal and deadliest of forms. A test of nerve, strength, and cunning, with death as the fallback option. Every Predator legend starts here, knee-deep in acid and ambition, fighting to earn the mark that separates a novice from a legend. And once you've done that, congratulations, you're finally an adult in Yautja terms. All it cost you was your childhood and a few near-death experiences. And as I was talking about earlier, Machiko Noguchi is presumably the only known human to have been incorporated into a Yautja clan. The woman was so adept at what she did that she even defeated this Youngblood predator named Shorty. In his defense, he was not as big as his brethren and was ridiculed for the same. And while he was bullied by others, he decided to bully Machiko. But yeah, that didn't end well for him. Even so, Machiko had her own predator armor and weapons, which was no small feat for a human to achieve. In her later years, she gave up the clan and even betrayed it, because she saw that she was ultimately a human and needed to side with them. Just look up Machiko Noguchi on our channel if you're logging through a PC or TV, and you'll find a video on her entire life story. That was all in this video, folks. See you around. Oh, and what did you think about Predator Badlands? If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.